Ladies and gentlemen, officials in Georgia could indict Trump simply for the public relations benefit to the Democratic Party, knowing that he would defeat or he would win any court trial. That's something that could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I really don't know. Trump did not pressure anyone. He did not commit an illegal act or criminal act they always want to get Trump on a transcript, but the first impeachment, the president of that country that he was supposed to have strong-armed stated he was never pressured by Trump. Democrats still impeached him. Okay, so the person who was alleged to have been the government official or the world leader who was pressured by Trump actually stated, no, that never happened. But Democrats didn't listen to that person who they now revere, who I also like. But now you have a situation where they're trying to go after Trump, and they can't get him in the Southern District of New York. They can't get him with the Mueller probe special counsel. They can't get him with Stormy. They can't get him with his tax returns. They can't get him with anything because he didn't commit a crime. They could easily get Clinton with top secret and special access program intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government. That's an illegal, that is the height of criminality. You can't do that. And by the way, I want a Hillary Trump 2024 or Hillary DeSantis 2024. But they don't have anything on Trump. They could have easily indicted Clinton, but Attorney General Loretta Lynch met with Bill Clinton on a plane, on a tarmac in Phoenix. Okay, and you have Comey saying, well, there was no intent. Okay, and we learned about this from the great Christopher Stein, a legendary journalist in today's world, a journalist that really broke a story, the story of Attorney General Loretta Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton on a plane as his wife Hillary was being interviewed, or probably had lunch and tea with Peter Strzok and other bureau officials. Okay, so imagine if Trump was in that situation. Okay, media covers for the Democratic Party. They actually are an extension of the Democratic Party. This has never really happened before. Media was never truly an extension of a political party. And so, will they indict Trump? I don't know. Do they have anything to indict Trump on? No. Will they benefit from the non-stop, hysterical, apoplectic media coverage? My God almighty, you're going to hear, you're going to vote for somebody twice impeached and indicted. That's what they're going to go after. So, I mean, Democrats have mashed potato brains with a presidential approval rating at an all-time low imagine if media was just objective. Imagine if you didn't have Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and every social media algorithm and all of, every publication out there propping up Biden, and he still has record low approval ratings. Okay, the reverse was true. We had a great economy. We have a recession now, and oil prices through the roof still. Biden flooding strategic petroleum reserves and selling them to China and other countries after his initial policies failed. So now he's getting sued not only by oil and gas companies, but also by environmental groups. I mean, the Biden administration has been a complete and total failure in everything. Okay, they can't even get two Democrats to side with them, Manchin and Sinema. But here, you have Trump, who is gaining steam, momentum. He's more popular, has higher favorability ratings than mashed potato brains, and that's with all of media completely apoplectic all the time. They don't have anything on Trump, otherwise they would have indicted him. They could have indicted Clinton. They could easily indict Hunter. 150 suspicious banking transactions, emails, if you read them, showing clear violations of the law. But you have to read them first. If you don't read them, you can't really comment on Hunter or Joe or James or whatever. You have these Tammany Hall families and these Tammany Hall politicians. This is honest graft they've engaged in since the late 1800s. So Democrats have been doing this for a long time. Hit subscribe to this channel. I should have a live stream tonight at around, I would say, 8 p.m. I should have a live stream. Now I'm thinking, should I have a live stream? I don't know. But I should have a live stream. Otherwise, I'll definitely have a live stream tomorrow evening. But hit subscribe to the Nuclear Confrontation and Stock Market Crash channel, and also the Bitcoin 10K Oil Prices 150 Recession channel. If you want to support my work long term, my Patreon is below. Once I get to 200,000 subs, I'll be close to having some potential options as sponsors for the channel. So will be exciting. We'll see. But I don't have sponsors. I mean, right now it's just my Patreon and you sharing these segments and your support. But anyway, hit subscribe to all three channels. They don't have anything on Trump. They don't have anything on him, okay, other than suspicion. When Trump makes a claim, when Trump makes a statement where he says, well, you know what, Raffensperger or this official or that official, I don't believe that you have done your job properly. Go ahead and find the correct total. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. Because Democrats say, from that, we're going to investigate and you've committed a crime. Now, he didn't commit a crime on the transcript. What they're doing is they're investigating the potential for a crime. When Trump makes a claim like, oh, okay, but when Trump says the same type of thing, but from his vantage point, hey, this happened, that happened, there's no investigation. There's an appeal to authority, and then it's refuted, and the refutation is published, and the rebuttal is there as a published rebuttal in a publication, and that's it. It's a rebuttal that refutes Trump's claims in a newspaper or publication, and that's it. You don't get any investigation at all. So Trump could make a number of claims that morally superior, highly educated, wonderful liberal Democrats find appalling. Those claims will never be investigated, and they will be debunked immediately, and they use the word debunk, because a journalist or a fact check asked officials who disagree with Trump, and then it's published, and then that's it. Okay? Trump doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. There's a Mueller probe special counsel. There was no evidence that Trump colluded with Russia. There was no evidence at all. A Steele dossier was literally purchased by Clinton, and Clinton was feeding false information to media knowingly. They're saying Trump knew he was wrong now. That's hilarious. As if Trump agrees with liberal Democrats on anything or anything major. He agrees with them on some things, but not major issues. Which is why it's a moral imperative to vote for Trump. And I don't get this. They say that Trump is this authoritarian, but he doesn't want to erase the First or Second Amendment. That's Democrats. He wants to bring Americans home, and he did that with the Doha Agreement that Biden completely botched. And so then, I mean, like, who's the authoritarian? It's really the Democratic Party that's like the epitome of an authoritarian, tyrannical, totalitarian regime. They're the ones who want to erase the Bill of Rights that they don't like, the First and Second Amendment mainly. They want a militarist foreign policy, interventions, regime changes. That's the Democrats and never Trump Republicans. It's not Trump. And the worst thing, what's the worst thing Trump ever did in his? I mean, there were a couple things that I opposed, okay, or that I disagreed with that were wrong, but then he reversed them. But I mean, you have greater atrocities taking place in the southern geographic region of our country, and AOC is nowhere to be found. She's getting upset at a comedian. She's more upset at a comedian than the terrible atrocities taking place right now. Worse than anything that took place under Trump. And people like losing their lives, like 40 plus people in a van. I mean, it's like, but see, again, the liberal Democrats, the wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats who suddenly cared about politics when they were watching The Apprentice for a decade, they don't care about politics anymore now. They only care about politics when Trump is in office, because CNN and MSNBC and late night and SNL and like the entire media public relations monstrosity warped their brains. That's why they disown friends and family for voting for Trump, because they don't understand the good things Trump. They don't know what the good policies that he was able to enact. They don't know, they don't care about the record low unemployment, the real wages going up, the economy growing, the foreign policy achievements, the Abraham Accords. They don't care that he was the only president to allocate more funding to historically black colleges and universities and make the funding permanent, or that Trump, and I don't know how you can be an authoritarian, um, um, signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. And so Trump did that. Nobody else did that. And so you have this, like, when they say Trump is a criminal, they don't know any of his accomplishments, which are plentiful, numerous, more so than President Obama. What's a lasting accomplishment, like specific, lasting achievement from President Obama's administration? What's a lasting foreign policy achievement? Nothing. The Doha Agreement is a lasting foreign policy achievement from Trump. He reversed U.S. foreign policy of 20 years, ended the longest running American counterinsurgency conflict and war. And the way Biden did it was a complete travesty. The country could have fallen eventually, but the manner in which he did it, there was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. He didn't abide by that. It was completely haphazard, and with no planning at all. There are still Americans there today. So, and Biden left them behind. But see, again, that's the way Democrats roll. They have all of media. Media funnels outrage towards Trump, suppresses outrage towards Democrats. That's why you have Washington Post articles saying the misplaced outrage. There's no you can't misplace outrage if you have emails from Hunter, or if you have that show clear violations of the law. Like they actually show violations of the law. If you read them, you have to read them first. You don't read them, then you don't really understand what the arguments are. And then selling strategic petroleum reserves. The strategic petroleum reserves, we have about 700 plus million barrels. We've already wasted 180 million because of Biden's failed policies. But that's for if there's a huge national security nightmare, not to just make up for Biden's failed policies. And so, you have a situation where Democrats and media, they already set up Trump. They set up an innocent man. He never colluded with a foreign country. And the notion that an outgoing Democratic administration had the right to accuse an incoming Republican administration with Trump of being installed by another country without any evidence at all is absurd. The only evidence was an accusation. But see, again, when Trump makes an accusation, that's not viewed as evidence. When they accuse Trump, they investigate the accusation even if they have no evidence, direct evidence. When Trump makes the accusation, it's refuted in media, and then it's viewed as debunked. You have to understand the way things work. And so, will they indict Trump? They could very well indict Trump and take advantage of the 24/7 apoplectic hysteria, and because they don't have anything to show for governing. Okay, Democrats have been a total failure in everything. From not even voting on Medicare for all to a recession to the geopolitical nightmare in Europe. Tell me what they've achieved in anything. My God Almighty, you have to be like an AI robot programmed to vote blue no matter who. If you're thinking that Biden's better than Trump, give me your thoughts below. They could indict him. I'm not predicting anything. I'm just saying they could very well indict him. They could indict him, and that would be terrible. But at the same time, it'll almost certainly backfire and make him more popular, and then you get payback, the big payback, James Brown, where Hillary Clinton and others get indicted with a Republican attorney general, an actual Republican attorney general. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Thank you.